Let's hear it for Bucky and Chip. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful piece. Thank you. That fits perfectly. So, Happy New You. So, this morning at 4 a.m., we had our World Peace Meditation. I've been doing it myself individually for over 20 years. Although this was, I forget if it's the 31st year, I think, that they've been doing it. And it's a wonderful thing to do. It's not a wonderful time in the morning, of course, getting up at 3 and leaving at 3:30 to be here early to open up and, provide a place. But I think it's important to provide that space. Although you were doing it in your deep sleep this morning, we did have 5 troopers come out and hold the high watch for us all. But it is, yes, it is something that I believe in, is important to me, and it's important to what we believe. We have to hold that space for peace if we believe peace is possible. It takes a village. Well, this is my last talk of December 2017. Yay! Or, it's all in your perspective, right? So our theme this month is integrity. We embrace the quality of being honest and strive to let our outer convictions match our inner actions. We express wholeness, honesty, and fairness in our relationships and our activities. So I want to talk about the old, and then we're going to talk about the new. And you see, I gave us a little bit of homework. As you see, was passed out today was an envelope with a small pink piece of paper and a large yellow, great golden gold piece of paper. But we'll be getting to that in a little bit. Every thought is a new beginning. If we want a new experience tomorrow, we must plant the seed today. We can directly and deliberately place our thoughts in the mind of God and simply acknowledge the law of good, affirming and knowing that each day is filled with the infinite joy, love, and abundance of the universe. So, how do we do that? New Year's is a great time to reflect on what you've learned from the past and how you will use what you've learned as you move forward into the future. This is a great day. It's a great time to decide not to drag the past into the future, to give it that ceremony. I love to do this because I know that the years that I haven't done something like this process, I kind of get mixed up when it comes into the new year. I have this old energy I haven't really purged, and I have this newness I don't know what to do with, and I'm kind of in between worlds. Well, this helps me to get rid of that questioning. Now, there's still a little bit residual energy left over, but I know that when I do this process, it clarifies for me, so I at least I know I've done it. And what I've done for you is I've made it really easy that we're all here on the same day. We can all do this together. And you can take this home if you want and do it in your leisure. But what I invite you to do is leave here today with the small pink one all filled out and folded up and released, and the new one filled out, mailed and folded up and put in your envelope and addressed to yourself and given to me so that I can pray on it all year long. I'll put it on my altar and where I do my daily prayer, and it will be part of my altar. And at the end of the year, I'll mail it back to you so you get to see what happened? It's really interesting when you get it. At the end of the year, you get this thing back and you're like, I didn't even know I did that. Whose writing is this? How'd they get my address? People get the envelope like, I didn't fill this out. That's not my writing. And then you open it up and go, oh, I remember that day. I remember that. So,
What was in the envelope?
no. I'll go through the instructions closely. The pink one is smaller for a reason, because that's what gets released. What I do is I collect these and I burn them. They turn into ash. They are transformed into their new plane of existence because they've served this plane of existence very well. And that's why the pink one is much smaller. The pink one gets burned and the gold one gets mailed back to you. So, New Year's is like a reset button, a fresh start, a new beginning. Things that you wanted to get done and didn't, hit the reset button and forgive yourself. It didn't get done. And here's some really heavy, deep, metaphysical truth. Okay? Only people in this room get this today, right now. Unless you're watching the video. This is for you too. You're never gonna get it all done. I know. You want to get it all done. You've got your lists. You've got your reasons why, but you're never going to get it all done, because when you finish something on your list, there will be a new list. There will be a new something that bubbles up from within you. And you know what? It's okay if you don't get it all done. Don't fret, because there will be other opportunities to get it all done. Once I figured that out, because I'm a doer, I am a list maker, I cross it off, I check it, I get rid of it, I start a new list. And like you overachievers, if there's something on the list that I did that's not on my list, I add it to the list and I cross it off and check it off to make sure that the infinite knows that I mean business here. Right? Don't we do that? We're so... But there are reasons for that. We want to get it all done. We want to try to get it all done, don't we? I mean, we're here to do, to be, and to have. And that's what this yellow list is for, what do you want to be, do, and have that you haven't yet? Because this is where you get to put your dreams, your greatest yet to be's. So, let's move forward into the new year with new ideas, new thoughts, and new intentions. All the things that you didn't finish or accomplish, you just didn't have the right pull at the time to get it all done. Maybe you put it on your list for next year. Maybe you actually decide that that's not important. You take it away entirely and go, you know what? That is an old dream. And it just didn't happen, and it wasn't meant to happen, or it would have happened by now. I'm going to let that go and be okay with that. Maybe it evolves into a new dream. Maybe the poem evolves into a song or a book. Give it new legs. Give it new energetic. Change or adjust your thinking around these things and chart a new course. If we don't chart a new course every morning and plan, we'll never get anything done, right? So, you can't get a new beginning if you're letting go of the old ending. Let me say that again. You can't have a new beginning if you're not letting go of the old ending. That means let it go, man. Let it go. The best way that I can explain this to you is the story of the caterpillar. A caterpillar literally dissolves itself so that it can become a new form, a butterfly. It becomes something completely new. Do you ever wonder when it's flying around if it wonders, if it wants to be the caterpillar again? You know, like, oh, there were days that took me 3 hours just to get from leaf to tree, you know, and I wish I was back there. And sometimes, you know, maybe we do. Maybe we just reminisce about how simple it was not to have to worry about the wind direction and maneuvering through all the flowers and dancing with other butterflies, right? But we have to let go of what wasn't. And it's okay to let go of what wasn't. Because my teacher told me that what I want in my life can't come in because what I don't want is taking its place. I never knew until I started recycling things exactly what that meant. Because, man, I hoarded. I had stuff. I had so much stuff, that I had to go outside of my own house to change my mind. I mean, literally, I had so much stuff because my thinking was, you know what, I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this for something. There's going to come a time, there's going to come a situation, and you know, those situations would come, but I could never find the thing that I wanted because I had so much stuff. Am I right? Do I hear an amen? So what I'm saying is, don't let your stuff or the stuff in our mind overburden us so much that we can't change our thinking, that we have to go outside of our life to change our mind. You know, it's okay to dream and wish and lament for a certain amount of time, but when it becomes your life, when you realize that that's all you're doing, maybe you need to call a practitioner or a therapist or someone to talk about. Hey, I've had both, you know, and they've both helped me quite a bit. There's some things the practitioner wasn't able to help with. There's some things the therapist couldn't help with, but the combination of the two is a good thing to have. You know, I mean, if you're going to really get to the root of all situations, sometimes it's good to talk to people. So the butterfly is one of the most symbolic totem animals, symbolizing personal transformation. I love it. Whenever I see a butterfly or see a picture of a butterfly or see a drawing that depicts a butterfly, I always see that metaphysical transformation there. And that's what this year can be for us, is the butterfly. So we're going to take a second and I'm going to explain the small pink piece of paper. If you'd like to take that out. It says, "Things I am now releasing from my past." Wow. Heavy. And you'll notice that it's pink because it's ready to be burned. It's ready to change into fire. And there's 10 things. Now, you may have 10 things or not. And the whole back is open for paragraphs and books, and you can take more of these if you want and fill it out. But I would urge you to minimize it and kind of just get it into a category. You know, relationships could be a whole line. You can fill up the whole line with R-E. You know what I'm saying. But here I put old challenging patterns. You know, maybe you want to put on there things I don't even know that I don't want anymore. kind of do a blanket cover, right? Because there may be things in our life that we don't even know that we're toting around that are weighing us down. And we want to cut and run from that stuff, don't we? But we want to dissolve it in a way and give it a proper resting place. That's why putting it all in here lets you really, once and for all, feel that kind of, I'm done with it. I'm ready to move on with this. I'm ready to turn the page. So just take a couple minutes, write a few things down, and we'll be doing this next week too. So if you don't get to it all, you can take it home and fill it out. Maybe you want to have a little, when I first did this, I'll tell you how powerful this is. I was at the Glendale Church of Religious Science back in 1993. I didn't know anything about this stuff. I just knew that when I came here, I felt better. I sat by the door in case they said anything crazy, I could run. I didn't get to know anybody because I knew you're all crazy. You're all out there. The minister especially was saying stuff that was out of this world I'd never heard a minister talk about before. But I liked it, and I felt better. My life seemed to work better when I was in this room, when I was in the sanctuary. Well, this was an actual releasing ceremony they did at night, and it was called a burning bowl ceremony, where we took a piece of paper like this and we wrote some stuff down, and we went out in the parking lot and they had a burning, like a little hibachi, and there was a fire in it, and we all lined up and we took our piece of paper and we burned it. Now, I thought about doing that, but the smoke alarms in here and stuff were too much. And it's too cold to march everybody outside and do it. But this is why I'm collecting them for you. You'll fold them up into balls. You don't have to put your name on here, so nobody knows whose is what, and it doesn't matter. Nobody's reading it. It's going to be burned. So what I did is I got in line to burn this, and I had written a particular person's name on this that I wanted to release, because I was coming out of a particularly damaging relationship situation. Actually, the relationship situation was the reason that I had come to the church in the first place, because, it was one of those. It was one of those just devastating for me at the time as a young man. And I wrote this person's name down. And as I got up to the fire to drop it in, my pager went off. That's how old, it said 1993, I had a pager. Back before cell phones, right? And it was this person's phone number that I was dropping into the fire. Okay, now I'm going, it's just a coincidence. And I hadn't heard from this person in months. And I went to the facilitator and I said, I just had a question, my pager just went off. And she goes, well, it could be a coincidence, but we don't believe in that here. We know that everything's interconnected. And you're serious about releasing this, aren't you? I said, yeah, that's why I'm here. And she said, there's something happening. There's a process. Just keep going with this. Keep following your dreams. Keep coming to what you believe works for you. And I, of course, stayed in the church, and here I am. And when I called the message was, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. Wow. And that was like a miracle to me. That changed my life to know, and I don't know if it was because I wrote it down, but it was because I changed my mind about it, that she could have a change of mind. So that's how powerful this can be. When you write something down and you release it, and it doesn't matter if they paid you or not, as long as you get the page. You know what I'm saying? As long as you get the call from your inner highest self saying, I am done playing on this level. We're moving on up. You know what I'm saying? We are moving up in consciousness to a new idea. So write everything down, and maybe even the things that you can't even think of, write them down. Like I said, write down. I know that there's other stuff that I can't even understand right now, but I'm writing it down. And put it into this little piece of paper, and then fold it up a few times. And this is going to go into the offering plate today. You're going to offer this as what you're releasing. Now, like I said, we're going to do it next week too. So if you don't have your list done, you don't have to do it today. This is a very loose process. It's not like if you don't get it done today, hey, you can take this home and hang on to it forever if you want. Not. But being a good metaphysician, I can tell you that there's nothing like the now moment. There's nothing like doing it in a process with other people of like mind and getting it all done today. You know, if you want to walk out of here with that car today, you do what it takes to get the car today. If you want to release the stuff now, you do what it takes to release the stuff now. Now, like I was saying, maybe you want to go home and have a little cry about releasing something. I mean, really. You know, I wasn't spontaneously eager to release all the stuff on my list. It hurt. Because I was suffering from something called substitutionary fulfillment. I didn't realize it until I tried to let it go. If I couldn't have what I wanted, I could have the pain of not having it. Ouch. Don't take my pain away from me. That's my pain. If I stood before you and said, in releasing this piece of paper, you release all emotion, all sensitivity, all reaction, all feeling of not having it completely. It will be erased from your consciousness. For me, there was that little piece of me saying, no, don't take that piece of me away. I wanted to have that and I couldn't have it, so I held on to the pain of not having it. And when that little piece of pain was ready to go away, I knew I was completely rid of it for good. So maybe you want to have a little ritual. Maybe you want to go home and do a little cry about it. That's okay. That's healthy. Just realize if you're arguing for your limitations, if you stand up and say, don't take that away from me because I have to have the pain of not having it, because not having it is too devastating for me right now. Just know what your limitations are. Know what you're arguing for and why. Because, boy, there was a couple things on this list. I released some things out of my life without knowing how they would come in. And I went without for a little while. Because all I knew is I wanted it to be gone. Well, don't do that with like the clothes you're going to wear next week or anything like that, because you may need clothes next week. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of what you're releasing and why. So now let's talk about the other piece of paper. Is everybody complete with this? Does everybody get it? I hope that you're complete with it. I hope that you're at the point when you can let those things go. And let's just do a little quick prayer right now about those things, okay? I'm just going to thank God for bringing these ideas into our life, because these have served us in such a beautiful way that they brought us to where we are right now. These are really good things, because they brought awareness to our consciousness that this may have been the only way for the infinite to get our attention. How powerful is that? Well, you got my attention, God. And now I'm ready to let go of the attention, to make way for some beautiful manifestations, some newness, and some space in my conscious real estate, and allow that to filter in a loving, powerful way in this next year. Okay. So we let go of this with love, right? It's all good. It's much better now that it's on this piece of paper and ready to go into the offering plate. So this piece of paper, there's a place to put your name and the date, and then list some stuff. Travel to Hawaii. And maybe you don't know where you want to go. Just put travel down. God knows where you want to go, right? It will be revealed. See, you don't want to put a negative on this. You don't want to put like release of illness. You want to put the release of illness over on this one. You want to put health and happiness on this one to fill it up. So do you see the two sides of the coin? You're letting go and you're opening up. You know, I used to just do this side in a process. I'm like, if we just let go of everything, without doing this side, you're kind of halfway there, right? You need to fill it up with something. This creates a vacuum in the universe, letting go of the stuff you don't want. So you can put down abundance, ease, grace, divine right action in all my affairs, health, perfect health, right? Creative self-expression, loving relationships. So there's the four that you really want to touch on, is your abundance, your relationship, your health, and your creative self-expression. Those are just four of the basics. There are others, but you want to kind of have those on your list somewhere. So take just a second and fill that out. Of course, I put lots of cash to spend, share, and save, right? Because cash is good. Money's not bad. It's when you make the love of money your God that you get into trouble. So then you just fold this baby up. You follow me? Addressed to myself. My return can be myself. And we're going to post these for you. I'm going to pay for your postage. So you don't have to worry about postage. Put it in your thing. Seal it up. I'm done. So, we find a way to wrap ourselves in a new idea. We find community, a community of like-minded people. We read transformational books, and we wrap ourselves in the presence that will change everything. In the chrysalis, we wrap ourselves just like the cocoon. We wrap ourselves in what we believe. We wrap ourselves in the love of our dreams, and then we wrap them up. Now we're going to collect these also, and these will go on my altar for a year, and I'll mail them back to you. Finally, as the old thoughts, beliefs, and ways of being dissolve, something new is made in its place. All of a sudden, we can feel our new wings start to form. Something beautiful, something whole begins to emerge. You emerge as the butterfly. You emerge into this new being. Everything you have just gone through, everything that you've allowed to dissolve from within you, having served its purpose, has made you stronger. The highest and best of you is who you are right now in this present moment. So maybe 10 things isn't enough for you. You can fill up the whole back of that page with stuff. Whatever you can fit in that envelope that won't cost more than the basic first class postage rate on a forever stamp is what will carry it to you. So, in conclusion, finish up with 2017 tonight. Don't bring anything with you that you don't want or need into 2018. You know what I'm saying? Let bygones be bygone, by golly. Maybe you want to take some time tonight and do some journaling. Maybe you want to write a paragraph about a particular situation that is troubling to you, just to really get it out of you. Journaling is a wonderful way of releasing. I know people they spend this whole day doing processes and journaling and ceremony in releasing the old year and preparing for the new year. And maybe you want to light a candle for yourself today. Maybe you want to release something that has been within you for possibly lifetimes, if you believe in that sort of thing. Every new year is a new way to release. A new beginning starts right now. And it starts every day. We can start every morning and just go, you know what? Whatever happened yesterday has served me perfectly, but I now walk into this day with a whole new idea. You don't need to wait for New Year's Eve to press the reset button. But it's a good time to do it right now. Every new thought is the opportunity to change, to grow, and to start something new. Remember that the butterfly is already present in the caterpillar. It only takes a slight shift in thinking for the transformation to begin. And again, I doubt that the butterfly ever thinks about wanting to become the caterpillar ever again. And so it is. So you got to kind of go through a little process. And now I'm going to take you on a prayer that kind of seals that process for us. So if you'd like to just close your eyes, just put your writing down for a moment so that you can bring yourself within. Let's remember who we are and follow our teaching. So I invite you to bring to mind whatever you believe the energy of creation is to you. This is your personal idea of creation. There is a power. This power that guides the stars and causes the earth to revolve, that breathes our body and beats our heart, is the same power that heals us, that gives us wonderful ideas for the next genius thing to be manifested. So we call that